Hi, everyone. I'm Allison Ramsey with the Empire Life podcast, and today I'm with Rekha Panda. And we talk with founders from all around the world, and we also help entrepreneurs to launch their online empires. And Rekha Panda, she's a founder of RAEKA Beauty, the first and only peel-off turmeric skincare mask. And I will hand it over to her to intro herself a little bit more.
Hi guys, so I'm Rekha Panda and I am the founder of a Ayurveda skincare line based on the science of turmeric. And we feature the world's first and only turmeric peel mask. Right now we're working on face washes and eye serums, and we're just trying to come up with a full line of products for everyone.
That's perfect. Yeah, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited.
Yeah. Me too. I want to dive right in, Rekha, about how the skincare, like what's going on right now with the skincare industry in the US, and how a lot of us are not necessarily conscious consumers. And we feel like we don't, like, we may not even know how to pronounce some of the ingredients when we try to read the labels. And can you dive a little bit more into that and kind of your opinions and what some people can be watching out for?
Yeah, and that's one of the other reasons why I was so interested in, providing a skincare line that's truly safe. The more I was developing these products and the research behind it, I started realizing that in the United States, under the law, cosmetic products and ingredients do not need FDA pre-market approval, with the exception of like color additives. And there's a lot of harmful, and not just harmful, just ingredients in general that the United States doesn't consider harmful, I guess, but other countries do. And so we, put so much on our skin daily. It's our biggest organ, and I think it's time that we, have this conversation about what truly safe products mean. And it's time to kind of, encourage the United States or the FDA to have stricter guidelines on what, can be included. One of the things that kind of, I started realizing a lot of skincare brands will advertise clinically proven. And I think I was telling you about that a little while ago, where what is clinically proven? I can give it to a doctor who can be my friend, or a family member. Doesn't really have to, it can be, completely biased or whatnot, but I can give it to, a doctor where they try it on, they don't have a reaction, and I can be like, oh, hey, it's clinically proven. But I did no type of real research, no type of market research, none of that, because it costs so much. And most beauty brands don't want to, spend thousands and thousands of dollars when it's not regulated and there's no law that's gonna, get them in trouble, to say, And also, it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like, there's so many lies in the beauty industry, and I want to be transparent with my brand, with my company, and, let people know that it doesn't, clinically proven, it means nothing. So what we do is use new generation Ayurveda, and that has basically been proven through 3,000 years of science, natural science, where people have been using it all over the world for ages. And those ingredients have not, caused any skin issues or problems. And this is a science that's been proven. So you don't need clinical trials, I guess. So, yeah.
There's already been a lot of clinical trials and people that have been using the Ayurvedic medicine. Mm-hmm. I personally love Ayurvedic medicine myself.
Yeah.
And I've seen the effects in my own life, and also, like you were saying, that it's been used for over 3,000 years. It's one of the oldest medicines. It may be the oldest medicine.
Yeah, it's the oldest. Yeah. And people all over the world. I recently went to a powerful mentor luncheon where the girls are really young, and they're basically learning how to incorporate STEM and seeing the different industries that, you know, you can be involved with still using STEM. And they're smart young women, and they're about 10 years old or 13 years old. And they were asking me, they said, is this cruelty free? And I said, yes, you know, our products are cruelty free. And she was smart, and she said, well, if you don't test them on animals, then what do you test them on? And I was like, is she really asking me this? Like, you know, she's so smart. And I was telling her, well, this is, you know, an Ayurvedic science. People have been basically testing them on themselves. They try something. If it doesn't work, they're, you know, trying other things. So it's one of those, it's like a traditional medicine that, you know, has been passed down from century to century. And, you know, it's a lot more safe and natural because they're ingredients that are very specific. And these ingredients, because they're so, you know, I guess I want to say, you know, sense raw, and they're not really distorted in any way. They're not, you know, infused with any chemicals, anything like that. So our body is easily able to kind of really break it down and easily accept it more, versus having to figure out, okay, what is this chemical that they just put on my, you know, put on the organ, and your body's trying to figure that out. So yeah, it's just one of those. Yeah, I was just surprised that she asked me that. Sorry.
That is an amazing question.
Yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. I'm sorry if you hear a beep. I tried to turn off the notification. It doesn't seem.
Oh no, I don't think I heard anything.
I'm at Barnes. Okay, good. Oh, okay, good.
Other people.
So like you were saying, that our skin drinks and it absorbs. I feel like a lot of people, and women especially, because women tend to put a lot more beauty products, hair products, everything. We're putting up to 10 to 15 products on ourselves per day sometimes, and we're not aware. We're a lot of times not aware that we are drinking or consuming those products.
Yeah. Yeah, we put a lot, you know, on our bodies. And it's important that we realize that what we do now, like the chemicals that we put on our skin now, it might not hurt you today, it might not hurt you tomorrow, but do you know the long-term effects of it, you know, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? And it's, you know, as I was saying, because there's no law in the United States to regulate those, the liability falls on the brands itself, the companies itself. But 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what are you going to point fingers at when you have some type of skin issue? Because you don't know which brand caused it. You know, you don't know which chemical exactly was the proximate and actual cause of your issue. You just know that it happened. But, you know, places like the UK and Canada, they are very, you know, aware of what's going on, and they know that there are certain chemicals that, you know, are going to cause long-term effects. So what they do is prevent that from even being used, period. Doesn't matter who you are or what brand you are, it's just banned. So you can't use it. So there's no, you know, what ifs and all these questions later on. But here it's like, what are you going to do 15 years from now? You can have an issue that started, and it could be related to some skincare product you've been using, because your skin's absorbing it into your bloodstream, causing maybe a hormone imbalance, something. And 15 years from now, all you're going to, you know, your doctor might tell you that you have a hormone imbalance, but you have to go behind that and research further and, you know, think about what caused that hormone imbalance. Because there's so many factors. It's not just one thing. It's like a ripple effect. What you put on your skin now, you know, goes into your bloodstream, that causes something else to kind of be disrupted in the natural, you know, human system, and then that's causing issues. So it's a lot you have to think about, and
a lot.
And I think, you know, now that the millennials are more aware of the holistic healing system, and everyone is trying to really, you know, be more healthy, and everyone's aware of what, you know, they're digesting and putting on their skin, I think it's also time to open up that conversation about regulation through the FDA, and you know, be more aware of what you're putting on your skin.
Yes, for sure. For sure. One of the reasons I'm more aware is because I have really sensitive skin. So I
Mm-hmm.
needed to always be I couldn't really wear any of the makeup that we all grow up being able to buy, or like I went to the store and what can I afford to buy right now? Okay, Maybelline and CoverGirl, and I bought one of them and had an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I either don't wear makeup or I wear makeup where I can kind of learn what the ingredients are. And then that was Origins, was one of the only mineral
Uh-huh.
based kind of makeup. And
Mhm.
I started wearing Origins, and I like a lot of their skincare. And then as you guys come out with more, I want to wear you guys skincare because I
Yeah.
understand
And
all the ingredients are natural. It's good to know. It's good to be able to read them or know what the ingredients are.
yeah. And it's good to also know that, we're not going to put anything that's banned, and we don't want any chemicals, period, because a lot of these companies are still going to have all sorts of unorganic things. As long as they're 75% organic, I can claim that it's organic. So you got to be really careful with that. And I think knowing that a brand or a product doesn't use anything on the ban list, and then any ingredient won't be banned anywhere in any country, that just gives you a sense of security that it's safe. And also, I'm glad that you mentioned, like, you have sensitive skin. Our ingredients are so gentle and so natural that even sensitive skin is able to break it down, absorb it, and um, get the effects or benefits of turmeric. And turmeric also calms, any type of inflammation. So a lot of people with rosacea have experienced that when they use our peels, that immediately they see the redness go down. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Okay. I just got a weird message that said it was unstable, so I just want to make sure. But yeah, they say that they experience less redness and it calms their skin immediately, and they've never been able to feel that with other skincare, and that's because other skincare have chemicals that your body's not used to. So of course it's gonna, you know, make it difficult for your skin to I guess be more calm and not, have a reaction to it, because the reaction is caused by your body rejecting something, right? Like your skin is an organ also. So if you put
Yes.
something on it and it's rejecting something, then you're going to have acne, you're going to have rosacea, you're going to have rashes, you're going to have some type of irritation. So
Yes, a lot of people don't realize that. They think I'm having an allergy instead of realizing that it's actually a detoxification process, right? Like
mhm,
when I see people with rashes on their arms, or like you're saying, a rash on your face, some kind of rosacea, acne, it's your body's
the
way of
body doesn't want
trying,
that.
yeah, your body's trying to
Mhm,
throw that out. Just like if you're
mhm,
sick, you maybe throw up because your body's trying to detoxify itself. It's a
exactly.
natural way that it's trying to detox. So we have to go back to the root cause of,
Mhm.
why is my body actually trying to throw that out? Why am I
Yeah,
having acne?
you have
Why
to
am
dig
I having
deeper.
all that? Yeah, you
And
have to
the one
dig
thing
deeper.
about
Mhm.
like Western medicine, and that includes dermatologists in your skincare, is you have one reaction. Okay, so let's say I have a lot of acne. Well, there's different things that can cause your acne. Even your, like, what you're putting on your skin. Maybe it might not be your makeup. It might be your moisturizer that you use right after you shower, and it gives you acne, right? And so people will go to dermatologists, and then they're getting stuff like Retin-A and something else. And
Mhm.
what you're doing is suppressing that. So you're adding more chemicals to yourself. Um, and you don't know what reaction it's having with the moisturizer you just put on earlier today. And it's
Yes,
like what we tend to do in the Western society is suppress that one issue, but you're not fixing it. You're just kind of hiding the dirt under the rug, but it's still there. The issue is still there. So that's another reason why I think it's important that we realize that it goes deeper than just, I have acne and I'm going to use Retin-A to get rid of it. It's more than that. Well, what can you do? What can you change to make sure that you don't need to go, spend money on Retin-A or some other, acne preventing treatment, just because it's like you're giving yourself acne just to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
yes,
It's kind
yeah,
of,
I know
it's not.
exactly. I know
not the
exactly.
smart thing to do. So
Yeah,
yeah.
why? And the dermatologist's job is not to find the root cause. That's not what they're
Mhm.
trained on. They're
To
just
fix
gonna,
your problem.
yeah, treat the problem. And
Exactly.
so when do you ever get the comment, that leads me to another question. Do you ever get the comment, well, I'm not sure. So most likely those beauty products
Mhm.
that they are spending money on, that we are tending to lean towards as we're growing up, especially in the US, they may be less expensive and the ones that are filled with chemicals, because even when I want to buy a shampoo, for example, and I don't want to spend, if I didn't want to spend very much money on it, I'm only finding options that are full of chemicals. So when someone
Yeah.
is kind of like, what will you answer to that if they're like, well, I'm not sure that that's in my budget? What will you answer to that?
Um, well, it's definitely quality. And here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one, we want to make our, products more accessible for everyone. So you can find some Ayurveda skincare online, but they're priced at $60, $80 for a small jar. Now ours is only in like the $29 range. Um, so you can basically spend $29 today and take care of your skin, or 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're digging through your savings because you have skin cancer, or you're digging through your savings because you have some other illness, and it's better to take care of yourself now than to suffer later. So I think that if
Yes,
you,
I completely agree.
value your life and your well-being, I think that $29 is relatively cheap. So
Yeah, it is. I feel the same way about food, about the food that we're putting into our bodies. Some people say, I'm not able to afford more organic food or more natural foods. And sometimes that can be even cheaper than eating a lot of meat. So it
yeah.
depends on
And I
how
think, and I
your
think like
perspective.
life is like a funny little, I don't know, it's just a funny little thing where you're going to end up spending the same amount of money. It's either now or later. You know what I mean? Like it's weird, but if it kind of balances itself out, like you're trying to save it now, you might think you're saving the money now, but the same amount you probably spent it later because you're having to go to the doctor a lot for some type of treatment, or a dermatologist a lot. People, like I was saying, if you're giving yourself acne now because you're buying cheap products, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to buy this product. But every week or so, I'm having acne, like a lot of acne. So then you're paying the dermatologist. And I mean, dermatologists cost a lot, you know,
Yeah.
even if you have insurance, or if you don't, you're still paying for the medications, things like that. Now, that same amount, you could have put that towards a quality product, an Ayurvedic product, and you don't have to waste your time going to the dermatologist. You can avoid that, the cost of medication, and so it still ends up being less expensive.
Yeah, and you feel better. Your overall energy is better. You feel more
Mhm.
confident in your own skin.
Exactly.
It's not the hormonal imbalance. Some of them drain your adrenals, and some of them increase your stress levels, and you don't even realize. Like I was telling you the story about someone in my family, a close family relative, that all of a sudden had breast cancer, and the doctor outright was telling her this is a
Yeah.
hormone imbalance. And like you were saying, she didn't even know where to begin. She's been
Yeah,
using
you don't know where it happened.
yeah, I think she was using Estee Lauder, and it's full of parabens. It's
Hmm.
just one of them. Or almost all of them have
Yeah.
parabens in them, which have been linked to being an estrogen disruptor. So they fill in the estrogen and then your body doesn't know how to actually produce the estrogen. Besides birth control and so many other things that we're taking in the U.S. a lot for a lot of women. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
she was telling the whole family, I don't even know where to begin. I'm starting to learn about the foods I'm eating. Some of the pesticides are disrupting
Yeah.
my
And
hormones, and then all these beauty products that I just thought were there. She's spending a
and
lot of money on those beauty products
exactly.
too, and she
And
just
the
thinks
thing
that's what
is,
everybody else does, right?
and sometimes, and that's also a thing. Like I was saying, when you're thinking about price, yeah, sometimes don't think just because it's $60, $80 that it's safe, because it's not. It's just the branding. If I'm a huge brand and I have celebrities to back me up, of course you're going to be like, oh, this must be the hottest thing. This must really work. That's not always the case. That's just the branding and their marketing strategies, and that's like a whole nother issue. But it's important to, I think, stick to Ayurvedic ingredients. And like, as I was saying earlier, you know, the Canada and UK and a ton of other countries have these types of skincares readily available in store. You can go into the store and buy them. And I think it's strange that we don't have them. You know, so we need to, and that's one thing that we strive to do. Our mission is to be the first, and we're working with brands like Nordstrom to be readily available, you know, online and things like that. In basically stores that people actually shop at, you know, more stores that are already known about, or not known about, but retailers that are more common and popular. That way everyone can, you know, hear about it, learn about it, and then pass it along to their friends.
Yes,
So yeah, we're definitely trying to figure out how we can go mainstream.
Yeah.
So.
Everyone deserves to have access to that because, well, even with some of the natural ones, there's hidden ingredients. So it really takes being a conscious consumer to know what to look for in those ingredients, and then having a company that you can trust, that you can relax more with Rekha Beauty, that like I don't have to be constantly checking the ingredients on all of them. Like some of them have parabens, food coloring, even.
We don't have parabens. We don't have synthetic fragrance. We don't have GMO. We're cruelty free. We're vegan. We don't have chemicals. So that's why we're striving to be Ayurveda, which takes you beyond just organic. So a lot of brands are organic, but we want to take you beyond that to where your body is going to accept the ingredients because they're natural. They come from plants that are naturally, you know, they just grow on the earth. You know, that's what you want, is things that are truly natural, not things that are mixed, like, you know, genetically modified, you know, ingredients where I can take two plants and I mix them together and I can call it organic because technically, yeah, it's organic. I mixed it together and I grew it organically, you know, organic method. But is it truly, truly natural? You know, was that naturally meant to be created or you know, I guess you can think about it in different ways, but, you know, just you want to be able to have natural ingredients that your body naturally knows to take in. And
and a lot of herbs in Ayurvedic medicine, it's already been researched, like you were saying, for 3,000 years of which herbs actually work together synergistically, or which different plants work together synergistically. And that, I feel like, is that kind of what you're talking about?
Ayurveda, it's plants.
Okay.
And you know, and when I say Ayurveda, it's it's the science that people have been playing with, you know, and seeing what works, what doesn't work. You know, and most of the ingredients are like herbal and spices, like turmeric. One of the reasons why I chose turmeric was because it's a tri-dosha. Our Ayurveda has 3 doshas, and it, you know, and the doshas depend on your skin type. Like if you're dry skin, oily skin, problem skin, but turmeric will balance all 3 out. So it makes skincare buying easy. You're not having to go to the store, and a lot of people don't know because as the seasons change, so do we. And a lot of people don't realize that. If, you know, in the summertime, you might be more oily, but then the wintertime, you're more dry because it's the season. Or if you're opposite, if you're, you know, summertime, you're super dry, there's some type of issue there. But, you know, in your skin, it could be what you eat, whatnot. And you'll notice that as you change your diet or as you change your surroundings, so does your skin. Everything changes because everything is kind of interconnected to one another. So turmeric will balance everything out because it's a neutral ingredient, where if you have oily skin, it'll bring your oil, it'll kind of dry out your oil glands a little bit. If they're, you know, if you have I was saying dry, I guess. Ooh.
So, and which dosha, which
so
dosha are you again?
I am a Pitta and Kappa. I'm like both the same, similar a little bit. I am less Vata. Some people, it's weird. The ones that I've talked to, if they're Vata, they're less on the other 2. But for me, I'm kind of like the same on the Pitta and the Kappa. So, and Pitta has like more of a like dry skin with larger pores sometimes, but Kappa doesn't. So I think as far as my skin, it's more Kappa. But as far as like the rest of me, the body heat I have, everything is more Pitta. So
yeah. I'm all like Pitta almost.
Yeah, and so if you do have enlarged pores, the turmeric will enclose that and make it shrink your pores to help, you keep bacteria or just pollution and everything out of your skin, because and that's another thing that I was reminded of when I was talking about pollution or, pollutes just being in your skin. Well, makeup, when you put makeup and other ingredients in your skin, it's blocking your pores. So when your pores get blocked, your skin is not able to rejuvenate itself. So what it does is it goes around the blockage, and that's why your pores stay enlarged, or that's why your pores become enlarged. Because if you notice, usually when babies are born, they don't have large pores. Large pores are created. You don't just have large pores. You know what I mean? A lot of people think, oh, well, this is my skin, I just have large pores. No, your pores are created because you're not cleaning them out correctly. They're so clogged up with all the makeup and all the chemicals we put in our skin that it's not able to detoxify itself correctly in the natural way that we're supposed to be able to. So that's another reason why our peels have that turmeric and they dry naturally, because they don't have a alcohol content. So they dry, according to your own natural body heat. We strive to make sure that, it's basically just being incorporated in the natural process of your body. That's what you want. You want it to naturally occur. You don't want to disrupt what's already happening. So the peels will pull off anything that's ready to come off. It's not going to pull off, it's not going to force anything to come off. It's just pulling off what's ready to.
Because if it does force it, I've understood that it can actually like scratch your skin. Is that right?
Yeah, that's active scabbing. Yeah, like if you peel skin off, what happens? You're scabbing it because it's not ready, right? It's trying to heal itself. So you don't want that. You want to, if there's, dead skin cell layers, you just want to pull those off because those are already dead and they're ready to, be cleaned out. And you're just kind of boosting your skin's natural system. You don't want to like go in there and create something and then your body's like attacking, or trying to fix itself in other ways. And then that's just not what it's meant to happen. So
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Oh, I love that topic. And I feel like we can continue to talk about that topic for like a few hours. There's an amazing amount of information to talk about. So many people are not even conscious of, and because we're just not taught those kind of things in school or like in the mainstream. So also
not talked about.
Yeah, it's just not talked about. Or just we're told, you need this beauty product. Or I used to think
we need more advertisements and things, because I do know other countries have advertisements on it. So it's constantly being thrown out there like, hey, these ingredients aren't allowed, this product's not right, things like that. In the US, it's like no one just cares, I guess. And that's, we need to ask our FDA regulators and politicians and whoever else that's in charge of this to really, make those standards so that we can take care of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to let the tribe know a little bit more about you. If you would like to talk a little bit more on your path to become a founder, and maybe what you were doing before, or some kind of why you're designing your own life and your own online empire right now, and you're the founder of RAEKA Beauty. Like, what led you to that?
It's actually kind of strange. So when I started doing these products, I was actually in Florida. I was out there, and after college, because I was so ready to get away from home, and Austin's home, so I went there. And I just ended up, it was kind of a smaller town. It was like a beach town. So, the biggest club was like Applebee's. They didn't really have anything cool like we do here in the city. So I was finding other ways to, I guess, just kind of pass time or have fun and things like that. And I started like making these products that I use on myself, right? And people were like, well, why don't you, take it to the market and sell it and things like that. So I kind of did. And I started finding there was an interest about what Ayurveda was. A lot of people didn't know what it was, especially out there in, a little beach town. And the more that I talked to people about it, I realized like, okay, there's people need more education on this, and I want to be able to tell people about it. So then I kind of moved back to Austin because I realized Austin, I think already, a lot of people are aware of, the holistic healing system. Austin's a green city. We don't even have paper bags in our stores. So it's like, we're more aware of it. So I came here and I started playing around with ingredients because I wanted a better product, a product that really worked, something that was different, something that would get millennials interested, because it's important that we start at least now, to get everyone more aware of the harmful effects that it can have long term. The chemicals can have long term. So that's kind of how I started getting into it. I didn't know I was going to be in business. It kind of grew out of a passion to educate people on it. And the more I learned about other beauty industries or beauty products, it kind of would make me angry. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many lies. Like, you're just lying to people, And so I wanted to create something that was truly safe because I'm not going to use the product on myself that I know has a potential to harm me in the future. In being, in an Indian background, my parents are Indian. I'm Indian. I was born in India, but I moved here when I was very, very little. So I kind of have both cultures, and the Indian cultural side was always like, well, you don't need to put anything that's, not natural. Like, just use turmeric or just use things out of the kitchen to help you. And I would realize like they worked. And, I didn't have to be afraid of it. There was no what ifs about it, because there's no chemicals in it. So, for a fact it's not harmful. So it kind of grew out of that. And I wanted to also make it something more modern to where I guess now, you don't want to go in your kitchen and take some turmeric, put it on your face and walk out with it. Like, that's just kind of unheard of. Like, you just don't do that, you want to be able to go to work, we're always busy in our lives. So our appearance is really, really important. And so I started just doing research on how I can make like a household product more modern, more wearable in your everyday life. And so we came out with the world's first and only turmeric peel. And we've had such great support. We've already started selling internationally, and we only just launched in April. We're being picked up by We Are Onyx. We already got picked up by them. And we launched with Ipsy on the 24th of this month. So we're super excited for that. And yeah, we're just working with different brands to really get it out there. And everyone that's tried our product, they've been coming back for more. They're buying it for their friends because they realize that, hey, this really works. And these are like ingredients that are truly, truly natural. And I was surprised that, I wasn't really surprised because it's Ayurveda, but a lot of like sensitive skin people will love our brands because they're like, you know what, I've tried it and this isn't, irritating my skin at all. And they're surprised by it. And I think them being surprised, it makes them so happy that it makes me happy to see that they're so excited about skincare products. And they've probably never been excited about a skincare product ever in their life before. So that's just really cool to see that kind of happen.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Amazing. And you guys are in Nordstrom too, right?
We're going to be with Nordstrom. We're not in it right now, but we are working with the national buying team to get it accessible there as well. So we're hoping we'll probably see that happen next year.
Perfect. And you've been invited to come to South by Southwest?
Yes. So I've been invited to South by Southwest this year. They're having their first wellness expo. They even realize that there's like a demand that's been created all over the world, really, that, everyone is wanting better products, safer products to put on their skin. So they saw me in one of the awesome magazines and were like, hey, your story sounds amazing. Your products sound amazing. they love the fact that it's new generation Ayurveda, and they invited me. So we'll be going there 2018. I want everyone to come see us. We'll have a booth out. We'll be doing giveaways. And yeah, we'll have some cool stuff there to kind of, educate people on what Ayurveda is and the importance of it for our skin.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I can't wait to be there with you. Come support you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's super exciting. To wrap up, Rekha, I wanted to touch on if someone is either they already are a founder of any kind of company or they are wanting to become one. What are some tips and tricks, let's say like the top 3 that you learned in your journey so far that you will tell them, like, this is what you need to know, this is what I learned when you're getting started, or if they already have their own company?
Well, I think for those who are thinking about starting, and this might be a little cliche, but do not let fear stop you. I think you've probably heard it, a numerous amount of times, but it seriously is true. Because before I started, you hear it, but you're like, oh yeah, I'm not scared or whatever. But then when you start doing it, or you're thinking about taking that jump, you like get scared. You're like, well, what if I don't make money? What if this is a fail? There's always going to be what ifs, but what if, you got to think about what if you actually make it, but you won't ever know if you don't try, right? So I think the number one thing is to not let fear stop you, because that is like the worst thing, is being afraid. And then you don't know if you could have made it big and you will never know. So that's number one. And 2, whatever you're not comfortable with, I think you should go for that. Like, try to achieve, or get comfortable with something you're not comfortable with, because that, I've noticed for me, opens doors for other things, or you learn something. And that experience, is, I think, really, really important, or really great. And I think I've told you, like, I never used to even now it's kind of uncomfortable for me to do like videos or Facebook lives, but the more I do it, I just get myself in a situation that I don't like. And when I do it afterwards, I'm like, oh yay, I did it. And then that opens new ideas, new experiences. And I think that's, something that everyone should do, is do things that you're not comfortable with.
Exactly.
Then, yeah. And if you already have opened a business, I think you should invest in marketing, because I learned marketing is really important. You think that, word of mouth is enough, but it's not in today's age, especially with social media. I think you have to have a huge social media presence. And it might be a little different if you're services. I'm not too sure, because I sell consumer products, but just being able to get yourself out there is important.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I want to acknowledge you, because we're also friends, good friends outside of this podcast. And locally, we get to see each other local, because our home base is Austin too. And I want to acknowledge you for immediately wanting to become, telling me, Allison, I want to do this. This is really uncomfortable for me. And I want to go ahead and be on video, or be on the podcast video, be on a Facebook Live, because you're always leveling up. I want to acknowledge you for that. You're always leveling up. And that is one of the huge ways that we continue to level up, is to pass through those uncomfortable barriers, so to speak, or areas of improvement. And especially because video, like you were saying with the marketing, video is one of the highest conversion rates, that people want to tap into the video, and then they get to know your energy more and understand you. And you're so on top of that, on top of your game, and understanding that already, and then leveling up through that uncomfortableness.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's something I started realizing. I don't even know how I kind of came upon that, but I did something that was really uncomfortable, and I realized that me getting through that opened other doors for me. So that's why I've made a promise to myself that if something is uncomfortable, I'm going to put myself in that situation, so I figure out a way to survive that. So yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Rekha, for joining us, and let me know how can people reach you again and reach your products?
They can I don't know if you want to put a link in the comments
Yeah, I'll put a
below
link.
or something, but they can contact me for more information by going to info@reikabeauty.com, or they can check out my website at reikabeauty.com. Yeah, or I guess find me on Facebook and DM me.
Yeah, and Instagram. You have an
Yeah.
amazing Instagram following.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Perfect.
want everyone to follow me, subscribe, because we will be coming out with more products next year. We're working on an awesome, like a foaming face wash, and a lot of people, a lot of products that foam have sulfates in them, but we are sulfate free. So we have some cool ingredients and they're all Ayurvedic, that will still allow you to get that foaming feel. And we're just working on some really, really interesting stuff, like turmeric beads. Who's heard of turmeric beads? Like,
Oh,
right?
funny.
Yeah,
Fun and
super,
fun. I
super
mean, not
interesting
funny.
stuff.
That's fun. Yeah. So what
Yeah.
do you do with the turmeric beads?
Well, it's basically going to be in the face wash, so it's going to like burst
Oh,
when you are
amazing.
washing, and you still get the turmeric benefits. So we're doing a
Uh-huh.
lot of different things like
And it'll
that.
be beautiful too with the
Yeah,
orange beads. That'll be so beautiful.
yeah.
That's
So
exciting.
subscribe, keep up with us, and that way you'll have kind of first dibs on all the new stuff that's coming out.
Ah, amazing. Thank you so much, Rekha, for being with us.
Thank you.